In today's video, I'm going to discuss about the how to achieve our goals before entering to the 2025. Even with we have a dealing with a lot of creative stress or the creative anxiety or the dealing with the procrastination and everything. And likewise, with that being said, if we chasing our goal or we try to achieve something in our career or the professional domain, then anxiety or the stress or the resistance from our from inside resistance, all this it is inevitable, and it's going to happen specifically if we are doing something not comfortable to us or something requires change. And this all sorts of it is mixed together. We cannot distinguish like a sharp line for the anxiety or the stress or the procrastinations or the depressions or the clinical procrastinator like that, because somehow they are all connected and entwined with each other, with the context of our what we are actually doing or try to do or try to achieve, because it is a moment to moment, everything is the priority is changes, our value is misaligned or our action is misaligned, or the intentions or goals, and we are lacking some gap with our challenges and with appropriate skills. And as the longer these gaps become, or we can say that longer the gap of the bridge, it is harder to cross over the river or the like that. And this is the same thing when it's come to dealing with anxiety. And for shorter period of time it is a good, but if it is a chronicle and regular, or because it is frequent in our daily life, then it will create a very strong barrier or strong limiting factor for our growth, for our personal development and achieving our goal or conquer anything is. So recently this, and I am not alone also, and I am dealing with all sorts of the problems what we have mentioned it, and I try to figure it out or by learning out how to overcome that, because we cannot sit on the couch and make a list of the things, and we just by making a list and just by being aware of that problems or challenges is not going to be. We have to take solid rigid frequent action, and if we cultivate those actions in our routines, or when it's come the second nature of our behavior when dealing with the creative work, then it will become, that's going to become very helpful to us. So in with that being said, I recently read a book about Stuck to Go by Britt Frank, when she has given a very insightful things when it's to dealing with the stuckness or dealing with the anxiety. And what she recommend is that she give the acronym for the SET or set, like small, easy and truthful. Because if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are doing or try to make a business out of your expert or the knowledge business kind of thing, or you are making, if you are making our personal brand online, and we try to make a brand, and once we establish the brand we become credible and credible enough, or the we can, if we are pursued as a expert on a specific topic, and that thing is require a lot of creative work, lot of resistance to overcome, and all this anxiety is going to build up. So we always try to do out of our higher standards, or we are not even looking inside the uh, inside the work, and we emphasize more on the our ideal lifestyle, or the our, we are infatuated with our outcomes, infatuated with our goals, or the professional growth like that. It is initially it is good, but by actually making progress and doing the work on that note, where we are on the surface level it looks very glorious, very tenacious as well, and lucrative. But when it comes to even starting of the first step, we are bogged out by the all the details and all the nitty gritty of the that particular creative task. So many time I am struggling with that, like for example, if I have no idea what I'm going to talk today, and I have to make a commitment to myself that I am going to make a video no matter what. So I'm always searching for the ideas, or always searching what to speak or what topic to choose, like that. This is very very, it is called creative blocks, or the writer's block, or the our idea block is like that. But then I thought that why should not I speak or tell one or share my perspective on the whatever I learned. Because if you're not learning, if you're not learning anything, then it means we are decaying the same time. So, and I make a list of all these problems, and I start with the stuckness or the anxiety or like a stress, and this requires the cleaning, this requires the healing, and then it going to glow and we ultimately grow. Though cleaning start with the first point is that we have to always look for the smallest part or the smallest first milestone, the next step within our limitations, within our uh, within what the resources we have, what is we what the things we have already available to us, instead of making all the nitty gritty for the in the first place and not even going for the first step. That will also going to increase our gap to what we want and what we should or what we shouldn't. So this is the thing. And with that being saying, like if we are procrastinating on something, it is inevitable to that if we are focusing on our willpower. And as the research has been shown that willpower is a very limited thing, our mindset is also a limited thing. We have to deal with our the nervous system, because nervous system followed the critical path of neural pathway. And if we inject the systems to act like that, because we are not like a robot or the AI thing, something AI cannot do and as we human we can do. So we have to instill the root, or we have to instill the neural pathway by starting from the small thing for a particular act or the task with a given framework of the context, and then we can eventually move on that. For example, if you are not able to wake up without alarm in the morning, and we always depended on something else to be going to make us wake up, like our friends or our family member, like mother or wife or brother, like that, it means that it is not so much important to us, and we always believe our neural pathway of by default pathway. No, no, just go sleep and I will do will later, and I will wake up and then I will make this thing. But this not going to happen, because nervous system or our brain is made to save us. Our brain's only work, only job is to, I don't want to let you die no matter what. So always he come up with the very strong reason or the strong thought, which is protecting our physiology, protecting our body by resisting, by not opting that task or creative work in the first stage, because it requires some kind of discomfort, and our mind not adapted to not adapted to immediately jump on the uh, work that is which is that is pulling it from its mode of saviors, or the protection, or the prevention, or the promotion, or like a point. So all these 4 points are very very important when it's come to dealing with all this anxiety or the stress, because our brain is hardwired to protect us. Anything which is making those system or triggering those system, and it will increase the flight and flight mode, then it's going to hide us in or consuming all his energy to stop doing what we are supposed to do, or which is something strangers, unknown, uncertain, or we can say that it is a little bit of require a kind of skill or the some kind of knowledge about that particular context. So this is how, if we are looking the anxiety as a challenge in a first step or the first phase, then all the creative works is going to be become very harder. And if we take this anxiety or the stress as a lens of our growth, or as a lens of a lens and ladder of the momentum building, or the taking the first step, then making a system so that it become effortlessly, and then we performing in that, and then it will become the a routinal path in our brain, and then it will boost, and it is going to kick us, triggering us to do effortlessly, even without our conscious effort at all. So, the overall conclusion of this discussion is that anxiety, stress, or the short term busting of flight and flight mode is a good thing, so that we are like it is a protective mechanism, so that we can become aware of our challenges and skill gaps or the learning gaps, and we make some iteration on that, and we take the first plunge of action, and by taking the smaller step, making it easier, because we cannot do all directly the big things when we are not when we haven't been little bit of competence or confidence to deal with that. And then third one is being truthful. If we say ourselves that for example, I have to design some graphics, and if I am not designer, I'm not never learn any designer, and if putting pressure on myself that this is very easy, all the influencers are telling us that this is very easy, by using AI you can draft any kind of design, and I'm going to create design, and if you're not able to do that, and then I'm beating up myself, that is the sign that I am influencing by the my in fantasy, which is built up in my brain, in my mind, or imaginary thing, or it is illusory at all. So rather than, if I am the same time take a first step, smallest, easiest, and being truthful that no, I am not such a competence person, but I require to build this image or graphics for my presentation, then what I can do in order to uh, make those gap bridge near little bit closer, by like for example drawing simple square box, or the putting some elements on some shapes on that, and by writing some headlines or topics. This is the only thing that we need to focus on while dealing with the creative work, and that's how we can protect our brain and we can enhance our creativity as well. Thanks.